Hey there, and welcome back to Best Practice TV. My good mate Dave Morrison has stopped by to help and talk about, or we're going to talk about, you guys have got busy lives, you've got busy roles, you sacrifice your health to achieve your corporate outcomes and achieve the stuff in your job. We're going to talk about that, and we're going to talk about the benefits of making some healthy choices and healthy improvements in your life, and how your leadership, corporate objectives and corporate results are going to come to you much easier. Stay tuned. We're bringing great people to you. They're talking leadership, they're talking strategy, they're talking innovation, they're talking creativity. They've got the big ideas. This is Talking Business.
In the workplace environment, it's just a massive issue that there is not enough leadership within businesses around, what does leading a healthy lifestyle look like, and how can it impact your entire life? And sometimes it's kind of like a business says, yeah, we've got an obligation, which is, a lot of people honour with their hand on their heart to do X, Y, and Z. But, when you see people, it's a classic, like when I used to work in corporate, and you used to hear it all the time, people would just be going to the afternoon meeting and it'd be cakes, sausage rolls, hot pies, and still to this day, people just roll that out in a meeting, and it's the senior leadership or the, his PA that's ordering it. And it's like, okay, there's an opportunity, I don't point fingers, but it's more looking in a positive sense. It's like, hey, there's an opportunity if you just go, you know what, we're going to start, this is the month of, we're introducing Healthy Habit Month at Best Practice, or whatever it may be. And this is what it's going to look like. Yep. Bang, 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 bang. We're going to have a toolbox talk in the morning. Like a work site, there's a toolbox. Yep. It's like, hey, we're going to be aware of these risks. Maybe it's the toolbox talk is, let's have a chat about, what's everyone got in their lunchbox today? Yeah, and maybe the outcome of that is, it's just, you're raising awareness. And maybe that's just the first goal is in a workplace, you raise awareness so people go, actually, you know what? Maybe I should start thinking more actively about, what is the purpose of the food that I eat? It's not just to make the day go by, or just to follow what everyone else tells me. It's like, okay, well, at the end of the day, I'm an engine, and I've got to be really conscious of what I put into it, because I want to get the best out of myself. I want to go on big drives. I want to I want to look good. Yeah, I don't want to get any rust on me or anything like that. Yeah. So I think, within the, particularly the businesses that you deal with, and they're all looking at risk, aren't they? At the end of the day.
Absolutely, huge amount. You're protecting, you're talking about protecting your workforce, you're talking about leading your team. So you talk about a high performance football team. Here in Australia we call it soccer, but let's talk about that. Yeah. That team is an organisation, that team is a business, that team is there. They're there to play. No, they're there to make money in the place that they have a passion. Yeah. Right? Football players, you want to be a top of the table football team because you can make money doing what you love.
Yeah, it's awesome.
So those teams, those high performing athletes, they've got nutritionists supporting them. Yeah. And typically in business, we're expecting to get really good sales results, and we're getting really good financial results, or really good
culture scores,
achievement of objectives, but we're not going to have a nutritionist? Yeah. What the fuck's that? Yeah. So I think
it's interesting when you do that analogy of the sporting team, because it's
straightforward, right? And I've spent a long time in my career avoiding the sporting analogies, because I was like, I'm not going to be that person that brings a sporting analogy into business. It's cliche. Yeah. However, let's look at it. Let's look at any high-performing individual. Or look, you can follow them all on Instagram. You can follow Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson on Instagram. 3 in 5 posts from him, he's in the gym. Yeah. So, okay, he's an actor, but he's not. It's not shit about acting. He's in the gym. This is what I know it's a bit cliche about posting pictures of food on Instagram, but you can see how he lives his life, and you can see why he's successful every single day, because he's posting every day to Instagram. And he's in the gym, or he's doing, and then equally all of the other high-performing rock stars. So it's not just about sport; it's rock stars, it's movie stars, it's TV personalities.
Yeah.
It's YouTube personalities. It's yeah, but that's in terms of you're right. So the question is what ingredients, and that's only one part of it.
Yeah.
What ingredients do I need to run my body today?
Yeah.
And what value is the food I'm eating adding to my life? And I really think that through.
Yeah.
So,
Yep.
in terms of making
So
some
you asking
changes,
that question in itself is really interesting. So like, how do you get more people to ask that question to be
it's that
aware
simple.
of it? Like,
That's all it is.
Because at the moment, let's say 80% of the population, we passively go through life, and the food we select is just one example of where we just kind of follow what we learn at school, maybe what we did around the dinner table. I think I love that stat.
Whatever our culture is,
Yeah, like what country you're from, religious backgrounds, all that stuff. But you just kind of do those things.
Yeah. What we're looking about is helping, and we can use me as a case study. I'm pretty fit, but I am carrying a little bit more weight than I'd like to.
Yeah.
So, and I do train. I paddle kayaks and surf skis. I've paddled. I did 12-kilometre session, which was about an hour this morning. I did a 12-kilometre session yesterday, which was about an hour. So I've trained in the last 2 days.
Yeah.
I've had, some of the ingredients that you help people with.
Yeah.
That was my breakfast yesterday and today.
Yeah.
So I'm making choices around backing up that training program.
Well, you're putting in to replace.
Correct. Exactly right. So, and then I've got health issues, and so dairy is an issue for me. So I've got the non-dairy, plant-based protein powder that Lisa, your lovely wife, picked up for me. So in terms of that, but if we take someone who is like myself or one of you guys watching this video, if we take what they want to achieve. Yeah. So if you guys are keen to have a crack at, and that's the challenge is, it's not a big thing, but do you guys think you could lose, if the average human in our client base lost 5 kilos, it wouldn't be a bad thing. So some of you might only, you might like to lose 1 or 2. Some of you might like to lose 5. Some of you might like to lose 20.
It's actually, sorry, just to interrupt you there. It's like the weight is usually one component, and there's usually, you usually have things in 3. So there might be some weight, but that weight has been linked to some not great food choices. And that great, not so great food choices means it's impacting your level of concentration.
100%.
And it's also then impacting probably the level of energy you have. Yep. And so that's just that they're all they just feed into each other.
Absolutely.
So
it's so if you use me as an example, I'm a pretty sharp person.
Yeah.
I'm pretty switched on.
Yeah.
And I want to be more switched on. So you're exactly right. So people will say, well, what is Kobe's secret? Why has he got so much energy? Why is he go? So I will typically work a 15 or a 16-hour day every day of the week, 7 days a week. That'll be what I'm doing. Yeah. And it's on the business or in the business or shooting videos or at functions, or that's just my day. So I'm not a 9 to 5 person. I'm, essentially working if I'm not asleep. Yeah. And I pass out at night. Yeah. So if we do look at that and we say, okay, well, if we'll break it down and we'll chop it into parts. There's the potential for weight loss part, but there's the choice of ingredients. And I do talk about this a lot, and I've been criticised for it, but I buy brains. So we have 30 people here at Best Practice, and I don't purchase their body. Maybe I buy a bit of time with their fingers on a keyboard, but the predominance of the purchasing, intellectual output, and what it does actually boil down to is decisions. The decision to do this or this, the decision to write that word or that word.
How quickly they can make those decisions.
Correct, that's exactly right. So there's a weight component, and that's a significant thing because there's a lot of people that we work with that are in sedentary roles, and they do want to make some choices that are going to have an impact. So it's not, we're not going to sit here and talk about weight loss, but weight loss is probably that's the topic.
Just improving your overall health to have a better life and get some better, I suppose better quality life and better quality of professional output and things like that.
So when you talk about making the choices, what's come into my mind, and I'll sort of get to the question in a second, is that I have changed the way that I consume ingredients over the last 3 years because if I didn't make those choices, for example, it manifested in my life as putting on weight a little bit faster, and then energy and that sort of stuff. However, what's happening now is I get sometimes too busy to train.
Yeah.
And so what's really important for me is that I've got to really, really focus even harder on eating properly when I'm not training.
Yeah. Yeah. Particularly as you get older, it's
Exactly
like
right.
you're not 25 where you just, cool,
Exactly
whatever,
right.
bang
Exactly
it on,
right.
no worries, boom.
Yeah, that's right. So these guys have seen a lot of gym footage through this YouTube channel and Instagram and Facebook over the last 12 months here at Best Practice. And that was my decision I had to fight to not feel guilty about going to the gym in the middle of the day.
Yeah.
For two reasons. One is the gym is quiet and I can more efficiently get in and out quickly. I don't have to talk to 1,000 people. I can get in and out quickly. Jake and I can do a hardcore session. Yeah. And then I don't feel guilty because I'm already working 15 or 16 hours a day. Yeah. And so, okay, well, all right, I'm going to work 14 hours a day. Yeah. Most of you out there, I've seen you work more than your fair share of the day. So don't feel guilty about,
setting that time aside.
Taking the time in the middle of the day to do the exercise. But more importantly, then make some decisions about healthy eating. So healthy eating is going to make it easier to start exercising. Exercising is going to make it easier to think, and then easier to think makes it easier to make healthy meal choices.
We become more motivated because you start to see it's that whole results paradigm of you start to see effort return results in small chunks, then you get more and more motivated, or actually, motivation is short-lived. You get more inspired because of what you can now see, because the inspiration will last a lot longer.
So can you tell us about your, hashtag dad bods, fit dads, hashtag fit dads. Tell us about that. So tell us about hashtag fit dads, and is it a 16-week challenge?
Oh, it's a combination. It's two things. So you can do, I work on 30 days or 16 weeks. Yeah. The reason for the two different ones is, typically 30 days is a way to reset your habits, reboot your body, and it could be someone who's an elite athlete. It could be someone who is working in an office environment that is like, I've just come through winter, for instance, and it's been cold, and I've just been loading up, and I need to reset things. So the 16-week one is, I suppose I look at it more as really then taking the new habits you've created and really embedding them and making some really powerful changes for your life. Like 4 years ago, I was working in corporate 60 hours a week, I'm just listening to the people that you're talking about, and that's just me. And add in interstate travel, lots of social functions, way too much alcohol with work, because I used to work in that, not in that industry, but that type of space. And and 2 kids under 3 and renovating your first house. So you lose track of just everything. So the 30 days is great because it goes bang, let's reset it, and then it opens your eyes to what's possible, because you just start to feel good, and you then, as your body, and this is the crazy thing, I know it sounds weird, once you get healthy, your body's actually going to pull you towards healthier choices, because it's actually really an amazing, amazing vehicle that does incredible stuff when you get it dialed in and just absolutely smoking. I then find doing the 16 weeks one really just levels it up again, because you're gone, right, okay, well, actually, you know what, when I was younger, I used to really love running, or I love being in the gym, or I love that, when did I forget doing that? Okay, cool. I'm gonna, who's my support team? Say in a relationship, and trust me, if you're a significant other knows that you need to make a change and they see you making these changes, they will be supportive, because it's going to be positive for everyone.
Yeah, and if they're not supportive, get rid of them.
Yeah. Not quite in the legal space yet.
Don't tell your wife.
No.
Or husband. That I said that. Yeah.
This guy on the internet said.
The
and
interweb.
The 16 weeks just allows you to get in complete control of your mind. It allows you to get some really powerful habits in place, and that habits comes from being disciplined, and then a discipline turns into a habit. And once you've got really good habits, then you don't have conflict in that space anymore, because you know what's available to you. You know what a positive impact it's had, and it's right, well, that's kind of like my new identity now. I still enjoy, Christmas time, all these kind of things. I still have a drink and all that kind of stuff, but instead of smashing 3 or 4 coffees a day, because I was in meetings and that's just what I used to do. I have a coffee, socially. It's not like, well, if I don't have a coffee in the morning, I can't get going. So yeah, I mean that's why there's those two different ones. Fit Dads is something that was just really passionate to me because I know what the changes I made in my life have made a significantly positive impact on my kids and my marriage, and it also had huge impacts professionally when I used to work in a corporate environment, like with the way I managed teams. Like I wasn't as snappy. You know, I was more patient with people, and you know, I impacted other people's lives because they could see me getting healthier, and that just, well, you can't put a dollar value on that. Like you see someone's life, like they've lost 20 kilos, and they're a completely different woman or man. You're like, wow, like
That's right.
That's
And it will have a massive impact on the workplace.
Yeah. So that's a little bit about, you know, why 30 versus 16, and then then after that, like you just create a new lifestyle for yourself. Like,
Absolutely.
So
Absolutely.
it becomes fun. Like you just set challenges all the time and keep pushing yourself, and you see that in your kids and everyone else around you.
Yeah, I mean, and that's certainly the case here. You know, it has an impact on our business. I was up at 4:30 this morning. I was on the beautiful Sydney Harbour, paddling a kayak in crystal clear water with dolphins and birds and the sun rising.
Yeah.
You know, and the northern part of Sydney Harbour's got beautiful beaches. So I'm out this morning paddling, you know, a surf ski with a group of mates, looking at beautiful beaches, it's paradise. You know, we're really lucky here in Sydney with the harbour. And then, you know, off the water at 7 o'clock, quick social coffee with a couple of mates and a catch up, and then, you know, home to the family and then off to work. So, you know, and that's put me in a really great mindset. So not only is, you know, and so that's having you know, that healthy lifestyle, if you like, is having a psychological impact on my team.
Yeah.
And so I think it's important that, you know, as a leader or as a person in a business that, you know, and any of you guys out there that are looking at, you know, the objectives that you're trying to achieve with change management, with leadership, with those sorts of things, then how can you be more influential? And if you haven't got, you know, if your mindset's not right and your mindset's driven by ingredients and food and exercise and all those sorts of things, then how can you be more effective? So you're defaulting to writing more policies and procedures, and you're defaulting to, you know, different fields of management instead of inspiring, as you say.
Yeah, totally.
So if we break down those sort of three parts, like if we talked about food, exercise, maybe healthy habits, when you're working with someone either on one-on-one or in a group environment, now I just want to preface that's what Dave does, is anywhere in the world. He can talk to you anywhere in the world via Skype, Google Hangouts, FaceTime, whatever you need, or Facebook Messenger. So this is for everybody out there. Is definitely hit Dave with a friend request on Facebook and follow, or LinkedIn, whatever it might be. And he can talk to you. But so what, you know, maybe in the first conversation or the second couple of conversations when you're starting to look at that, how do you sort of, how would you attack it?
Firstly, I ask people, you know, what's your ultimate health goal right now? Because everyone's typically got one, but maybe we just kind of push it to the back for a long time, and it'll be different for everyone, because sometimes it may not be the 5 kilos to someone. They just got no energy, and that is like, it blows me away the amount of people that wake up every day and they're just shattered, like they haven't slept well, usually because the previous day's been full of too many stimulants like coffee, energy drinks, poor food choices, and let alone all the other adrenal fatigue that's going on throughout the day because they're having to push and push and push and push themselves. So energy's like killer. So look, I get that really clear, and then really I've got to go through a really strong, like from a coaching modality, like anchoring process, because you've got to work out, well, why is that important to you? What areas of your life is that impacting you? And step them through that process. Like, I won't sort of go through it all now, but it's a sort of discovery call, and through that you kind of work out, you help the person go, right, okay, I know I need to make some change, and I've been sitting on my hands for too long, and this is now the opportunity, the vehicle for me to do that. And look, that process is great, because then through a coaching and support approach, you know, you're able to then help the person link back to their goals, because you are going to come up against some resistance mentally, whatever, obstacles. And they were just like, you know, that initially it could be mapped over that first 30 days. Like, you know, I've helped like executives who have had, they've had some big health challenges. They're very successful, managing directors, sales directors, all that stuff, but they're 20 kilos overweight and they are like, they're in their 40s, and it's difficult to shift that kind of weight. And it's not showing up very, very well. So like that wasn't a 30-day, transform that person. Like that was a 90 to 16 week type thing where we're like, right, okay, well, let's break this down. Let's, as I said, map out where it's impacting, and also then get them to think about, well, if we achieve this for you, what are the positive things you're going to see show up in your life? Because that's where people start to move from from your limbic to your logic to limbic side of the brain. You start to forget about that and start to go, wow, like, well, if I was that person, it'd be showing up this way with my team, it'd be showing up this way at home, and I would be doing this and I'd be doing that. And I find that that's a super empowering experience for people, because you can just, in a one-on-one situation when you're talking to people, or even a group, you can just see people's, like, their energy and their heads just lift up, because they're starting to think, you know what, it's okay, cool. Like there is an opportunity here for me to make a change. So that's, in a nutshell, that's how we go through. It's pretty quick process. And that way you just work out really quickly, like, what's the most important thing for that person or that group of people to achieve. I typically do it, like, even if it's a group, you'll still do stuff one-on-one initially, because people may want some personal privacy as well. Particularly, men versus women, all that kind of stuff.
Absolutely. And I think probably the key takeaway for me has been, observing what you do and, marginally participating in it, is, on the fringes, is it's not just a, hey, this is what we're going to do, 30 days and it's gone. Dave's the sort of person that you want to have him, even if you choose not to, engage, like, and connect, and lock in now, sit back and be the anonymous voyeur of what's happening, because he will have an impact, because, he'll prompt, so he does live Facebook, for example, and, there might be a couple of questions, and you just dial in and watch half of one of his live Facebook sessions, when he goes live and does that sort of stuff and he's talking to people. And so over the next 12 to 18 months, I can almost guarantee, just by watching what David's doing, it's going to start to have an impact. And then you can say, actually, if you and there's a lot of people that we see, they don't jump on that call to action. Like, they're like, so I'm not sure.
They haven't hit rock bottom. They haven't hit that threshold point where they go,
that's right.
Wow,
that's exactly right.
I got to make a choice. And, like, maybe in your professional environment, maybe an accident or a near miss has happened, and they're
that's
like,
exactly right.
Jeepers, we need to really jump onto that.
That's right.
Because the risk is not a risk anymore. It is like reality.
Yeah. And so, the way that Dave works, it's about the long term. So it's about, you can come and go from a relationship in terms of that process anytime you want. However, Dave's in it to support people in the long term, and that's what I've seen. And that's sort of what I really value, is that it's not just about a short-term win, like a personal trainer who just wants their next session, and that sort of stuff in some of the big commercial gyms. But it's definitely about participating in a tribe or a community with you and Lisa.
Community, and just, I said, like, you just change your relationship with what it means to be healthy. Like, it's not a burden.
Absolutely.
Like, it's
not meant to be.
No, it shouldn't. No, it's not meant to be a burden. And it, I don't know, like, I believe I live a pretty healthy lifestyle, but I don't think about it.
No.
I used to, like, I don't know, I'm sure there's like a really cool thing that Harvard Business Review have done that talks about, like, adapting new habits or something like that. And maybe it's the airplane analogy where, God, I used to spend so much fuel to get to that point. And then it is after that, it's like, because then all of a sudden the food in your house changes, because you and your wife or your partner, or maybe it's just you don't have all the things at home that you used to. So tick, awesome. It's like, if it's not there, I can't eat it. It's kind of...
Well, it's less.
Yeah.
Like, if you just went processed versus unprocessed food, unprocessed food's cheaper.
Yeah.
And so healthy choice. We've always been a pretty healthy family, and, the shopping trolley and that sort of stuff. But it's the supermarket, it's cheaper.
Yeah.
You don't get much past the fruit and veggie aisle in terms of what we're buying, and a bit of protein or whatever is going on. Instead of going down the pre-packaged, this is all the stuff, or eating, eating from the takeaway shop or that
Well,
sort of
my
stuff,
one tip there is like, like one of the best things that we ever did was Sundays we go to a growers market, and it's not because like we want to eat organic and all that kind of stuff. Although I think my wife, we likes to get most of that stuff.
Yep.
But you take, and also you take your kids along there so they get connected to food and all that stuff. But there's none of the other crap that you seriously do not need. Like, because everyone, put your hand up, you've gone shopping and you've come back and gone, why did I get that? Like really, like a merchandiser has done a great job putting that right here for me to go, okay, I get it.
You really got to ask the question, if your food comes in a cardboard box,
Yeah.
aside from a box of apples or oranges, but if it comes in a small cardboard box, you got to ask the question about.
Yeah, it's like, what exactly is it? So that's been huge for us, and you reduce your grocery bill. So like 100% to your point, like you shop less, and it just becomes, then it just, as I said, like it becomes fun, and you don't have to think about it as much.
Absolutely. So, question: you've just recently left corporate.
Yes.
What advice would you give to your 30-year-old self?
30-year-old self would be. It's funny. I was watching Play School with my kids the other day, and they were doing, "What would you give advice to your 12-year-old self?" So it's funny, I just thought of that straight away. Would have been to back myself earlier, to have a stronger. To have sat down and worked out really clearly about what I want out of my life and what are my highest values. So I let my values slip or just evaporate. And by that I mean, the highest values for me are around, love, compassion, health, honesty, integrity, and what do all those things mean in my life? Because like your values, they drive everything you do every day. So if you've got a really strong value around health, but then you're eating crap food, you're going to feel conflict inside you. Have a really good peer group, like, because I used to think like the 5 people you surround yourself with was all a bit of a myth, but it's 100% true.
Absolutely.
It is 100% true. And so it would have been to get clearer with that, get clearer with the values. Back myself earlier to go out and do my own thing, and that's following what your passion is and what you really, really like to do. And have fun, have more fun, have more fun with life, because we take everything way too seriously, way too seriously. I think that would be my advice. Because I was actually turned 30 when I was in London, and I moved to London for 4 years. So I certainly wasn't following any of my health advice back then. I can guarantee you there was a lot of pints being drunk and pies.
I think looking at the support mechanisms, with a formal engagement, with reach out to David and have a look, at least have the conversation, ask the questions. So, could you, how would you feel, and imagine, how you felt and presented yourself in terms of, that really amazing feeling. Like, close your eyes and just picture yourself like a fitter, healthier, better version of your current self. If that's something that's causing you some stress and anxiety at the moment, just close your eyes and picture that. Like, I picture myself in an amazing outfit, and I feel good, and I'm running up the stairs, and I'm getting up, and I'm eating properly. I'm able to easily choose the right things to eat, and I don't feel guilty about it, and I don't feel the peer pressure around it, and I haven't got that conflict. So the support mechanism, and you've got me as a support mechanism, and that's why we're here with this channel, and you've got you've got the ability to connect, and that's why we've brought David on today for Talking Business, is because for me, what I'm passionate about, what our mission is here at Best Practice is I'm here to help you guys make your life easy. Like, if you're fit and healthy, you can run up the stairs and it's easy. If you're not fit and healthy, it's hard work. So you get up the stairs easier, and I'm an inherently lazy person, and so all I'm looking for is the cheats.
I find that interesting, but anyway.
But that's what everybody says. But no, I'm a lazy person. I'm just looking for the shortcut. Now, if I'm fit and healthy, it's going to be easier to get up the stairs, right?
Correct.
That's cheating, right? Fit and healthy, I can cheat because I'm going to get up the stairs faster. If I'm eating the right ingredients, whatever, or paddle skis or kayaks, moving through the water quicker, or whatever it might be, if I'm eating the right stuff, which is like exactly hitting the nail on the head for the ingredients for my brain, then thinking's easier. I'm cheating at thinking.
No, you are.
That's so 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 I come at it mentally from I'm a lazy person. What's the shortcut?
Yeah.
The shortcut's eat that, not that, because I'm going to think faster.
Follow this system.
Exactly
this
right.
Outcome, plug and play
Yeah,
kind of thing.
exactly right. And it does look. I'll be the first person to admit that a block of chocolate is amazing, or a packet of crisps, right? But they're not. I know they're not the ingredients that are going to help me cheat.
Yeah.
They're going to slow me down, and they're going to be a handicap. And so and that's just how I'm processing it. So what I'm passionate about is helping you guys by bringing different people in here to talk, to actually crack that nut so that you can get to the heart of it and you can be, you can feel amazing. And I want you guys to feel like, if you, think about, going out on a date, way back, if you're married and you're with a partner, like going out on a date with them, or when you were dating, or when you were young and fit. That's how I want you to feel. Those amazing experiences that you had, I want you to continue to feel that. And obviously when we're younger, our body's got more tolerance to burn that stuff. But as we get into this part of our career that we're all in, and careers and LinkedIn and all that sort of stuff, we're going to feel more amazing, feel more attractive. When we feel attractive, we look attractive. When we look attractive, we're more influential. And when we're more influential, we get our goals easier because people they're going to get on board. So, 100%. That's the whole thing. So, what about have you got some sort of stories to share about, and you don't need to name names, but some success stories? Like people that you've recently worked with?
Yeah, I'll share with you one where I was just driving here. I was a few minutes late. I was on the call with a client that called me up. Really successful sales leader in the telco space. She reached out to me by Facebook. She's been following, my journey, a lot of my posts, and I just happened to say something to her one day, and she was at rock bottom. And the changes in her life in the last 10 weeks, like she's managed to lose 12 kilos. She's stopped drinking because she's got some particular health goals. Like she'll go back and still enjoy a glass.
Sober?
Yeah. Well, no, it's been going for 10 weeks.
Yeah, right.
And so she said to me, she goes, like my kids said to me the other day that I'm just so much more fun to be around. So like anyone that's a parent, like just let that one sit with you for a while. And her kids are teenagers, so tough audience. They're not like little ones that are kind of, you're going to get the love anyway, like it's a given. And she's also, noticed a really big improvement in her engagement within her team, within her workplace. And she was actually calling me because she was about to go out in a boat today, and it was a big reward for the whole sales team, and her was one of the big sales leaders because they'd smashed all the targets. She's like, I'm just going to be normally I'll be going out that day getting hammered, but you know what today is all about? It's about I'm just going to be there for my team. I'm going to be there talking to them, be available there for them, and just want to help them enjoy and have an amazing day. That's what my role is going to be in that day. So, that's a pretty massive impact to have on someone's life. And for her, she just called me out of the blue today because we normally have a check-in call once a week, and she just said, look, this is what's sort of going on for me at the moment. And she's got some more goals there for the next 5 weeks, like working, she's doing 16 weeks and beyond. Like she's now changed the life.
That's right. That's exactly right.
That is literally one straight off the bat. I mean,
question just on it before you move on. The sales targets that they smashed, were they quarterly?
Yes.
So how long's she been doing this?
10 weeks. Yeah, I know.
Yeah, so do you think there might be a link to she's feeling good, she's interacting well with her team, things are going good at home because she's had some health goals, eating better ingredients, thinking more clearly, and all of a sudden smash sales goals? Yeah,
and just feeling, she felt good about herself because, the feeling of when you set a goal and... it's actually a great quote is when you say you're going to try and do something, it's like expecting credit for something you're never going to do.
There is or is not.
Yoda. It's like setting that goal and no, you're not even going to do it. And, she set a goal and achieved it and is so aware of the changes she's made. Her level of confidence and just, she likes herself. And when you like yourself, that just goes out to everyone else. And then they want to be around you more because... Wow, this person's really they're really nice to me because internally, they're actually really nice to themselves.
Absolutely.
So, yeah, I mean, she said it. She goes, there's been a huge connection because the energy's just gone up.
Yeah, yeah.
And
Fantastic.
that's huge in sales.
Yeah.
Like they live and die by that.
Absolutely. So we've got this audience, great audience that they love to comment and make comments and question and follow and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
What do you need help with?
I need help right now. I suppose first and foremost, like I'm growing my audience and connecting with more people. You know, one of my big missions is around, you know, helping and empowering more people to make their health like an asset in their life and something that is just what they do, so they can just open up more possibilities and more awesome things in their life. Like, you know, particularly like I deal with a lot of men and women around my age because, like, you know, I'm 44 in a couple of weeks. And, you know, so typically I work with a lot of people like 35 to 44, married, got kids, ex-corporates. So, you know, for me, I am just always looking to have more conversations with more people because I believe we're in a place at the moment. I was actually reading an article today that I posted on LinkedIn that, like, I was talking about obesity is costing, like, globally, is costing $1.2 trillion this year. And that's just an impact on government and health system, not impact on workplace. Like, for instance, you know, sick days, lost productivity, blah, blah, blah. So who knows? It's like, how long's a piece of string? So, you know, my area of help is like, I'm just like looking to connect with more and more people and see if I can add value, and what I have is going to be the solution for them. So yeah, that's what I'm, you know, looking for. And also just, you know, as Kobe said, like if you find me on any of your social networks, just feel free to follow me or hit me up because I use those channels because I've made some decisions in my life that have been really, really positive for me. And I like to share those experiences with everyone else because I know it's made a difference to a lot of people because they're the people that have, you know, eventually reached out to me. It's just like, man, I appreciate what you're saying here, and yep, this is definitely me, and I'd love to know more about how you can help me out. It's like, awesome, cool.
So this is it. Tag or share this video and David's details with a mate or a friend or a family member or a work colleague, and it can be, you know, it can be gently and diplomatically. Who needs to see this? Yeah. So tag a mate, tag a friend, tag a family member, subtly share it with them so that they can learn about talking business. I think that, you know, the key reason why David's here talking to you guys about health and nutrition and what he can do to help is he's got the corporate experience. There's lots of personal trainers. There's, like, you know, the guy that trained Jake down at the gym, he's absolutely fantastic and he's excellent on strength and conditioning. And this isn't, like, I'm not criticising you, Jake, because I know you'll pin me on this, but the corporate experience and the understanding what it's like to do the massive weeks, to understand the corporate pressure, the goals, objectives, the directors that you've got to report to, the shareholders that you've got to talk to. You're an international company, you've got reporting in different time zones, and just what happens to your week when you intend to go and do all this great stuff. You start on Monday morning and you get to Friday and you just go, what just happened to my week? It just disappeared, you know. And to achieve those corporate outcomes and to achieve those corporate goals, you sacrificed your health, you sacrificed your family, you sacrificed all of those things that are
relationships at work.
Exactly right.
A few people
Absolutely, to get those things to happen. And what we're talking about is, you know, taking some gentle little steps with David's support to make that a little bit easier. And, you know, at the end of the day, you know, enjoy the journey because life's a journey, and achieve those amazing outcomes. So my request to you guys is tag someone who wants, you know, to look at themselves individually, you know, and has some health goals that could benefit from a little bit of gentle coaxing from Dave, and he'll help you. He'll look at nutrition, you know, and if there's, you know, and he's helped me with supplements. He's helped me with some of those things and goals, exercise goals. Prompted me. The reason I go back to the gym now prompted me to go back to the gym. So that's sort of the, you know, and it's different. It's going to be a different experience for everybody as you work through a plan. We can look
100%.
at a formal plan.
Definitely.
We can look at, you know, David can help you look at ingredients, menu planning, and then how to supplement that. So, you know, to achieve some of those goals and get you into those healthy habits, you know, whether you can supplement, you know, different supplements or proteins, and those sorts of things to get you on that journey. And I definitely, you know, I back up any of my training sessions with a protein supplement. It's protein powder. And I have a really busy life here at Best Practice, and often, the support that I've got in terms of nutrition is I can just quickly grab a protein shake, and then that gets me through. That gets me through to my next meeting. And often, my team will see me that I'm there in the meeting, and that's I don't have time to sit down and have a sandwich or salad or go to the shop or anything for lunch, and so I can still meet my health objectives, and I'm getting those things in. Another question for you. With a lot of this corporate lifestyle, you might go off track.
Yes.
Have you got any tips for people in quickly? Like I've just been out, I've been out of action for 5 weeks.
Yeah, traveling. Yeah.
What's a tip for someone, they're traveling internationally or they're traveling interstate, it's hard to do the things. What's a get back on track quick tip?
I'll actually answer that in 2 parts. So if you are someone that travels a lot and you're on the road, planning is really important. Knowing that if you are going to be having a really big schedule, what typically has happened in the past for you. So if you are a person, let's say you're on the road for a month, just as an example. Actually, I'll use an example. We've got a friend in Singapore, and actually an ex-colleague of my wife's from the IT industry, and he travels internationally a lot from Singapore because it's a hub. He was in the States for 2 weeks, then in London, then back to Singapore. So we went through his whole travel itinerary. He'd already done 30 days with us and having really great health results. So I was like, cool, okay, well, what's it going to look like? And he went through everything. I was like, great, okay, well, look, you're going to have some occasions where you're going to probably drink, and that's cool. It's like, just set some boundaries for yourself around that. So have an awareness. It's like, cool, okay, I can't go out and have 5, 6, 7 drinks. It's not going to serve me because I've got a really important day the next day and I want to be my best. Take some supplementation or different things with you on the road. So instead of if you're traveling domestically and you're at the airport and you're just grabbing rubbish food, like that white sandwich in the packet that you think is kind of good for you, it's really just like cardboard. You're grabbing something else, some kind of like proteins or some kind of supplementation. So you've got something quick that is going to remove the poor choice. Now, if you have gone away on one of these trips and you have gone off the rails, well, first thing is I'd love to help you get back on the horse and reset. I think the main thing is just if you're on a health your health transformation, you are making those steps. You have times where you fall off the horse or fall off the wagon. The most important thing is to get back onto it. The second most important thing is talk to someone that, if you have a coach or someone that's supporting you in a program, let that person know what's happened, because they'll just go, cool, no problem. Okay, what did you learn? Great, okay, because you're going to have that situation happen again. You can't just shut yourself off of the world. Just learn from it so you're a little bit mentally stronger. Then, you check in with someone who can just reassure you, look, the world hasn't fallen over. It's totally cool. Let's not think about falling off the wagon that day. Let's think about the next 2 to 3 weeks now and get really excited about what we can do with your goals.
Absolutely.
So, excuse me.
I mean, your wife Lisa set me up with a box of sachets of protein powder.
Yeah.
So I don't even have to scoop in the bag. I've got this big bucket of protein powder. It's a sachet.
Yeah, sachets are good.
They're in I've got some in the car and I've got some in my bottom drawer of my desk. She also got me some protein bars.
Yeah.
And so when I haven't got time for lunch, I haven't got time to go get a salad or whatever, and try and make the right choice, and I'm running between meetings, I've got a handy shaker, I've got a sachet, and bang, I'm done.
Yeah.
And so I can run between meetings, and I've planned it, and so I know that my weeks turn to shit, and I know that stuff doesn't happen. I plan to sit and have lunch and relax and all that sort of stuff, and so I've got them within easy reach. And I think
that's it, isn't it?
The
you could go
snacks are within easy reach,
as opposed to the vending machine or the. It's right. I'll get a chocolate bar. It's 3 o'clock. It's and it's interesting. Those particular products, they're also to get into a bit of nutritional science, because that's what your body's all about. Is it's a full meal spectrum. So you've got protein, carbs, fat, sugars. Trace minerals, vitamins, all that kind of stuff. So your body needs something like 76 types of nutrients a day to function. And the majority of people probably get about 10% of that a day. And being able to just literally get your body, it absorbs it really quickly and you're off and going.
That's exactly right.
And you're not So when your body is actually fed the right fuel, you'll notice your cravings will change, because all a craving is. So I'll give you an example. Have you ever eaten a bowl of pasta and gone, I could eat that twice? Like, I could just smash it, because I love pasta. I actually had some last night, but really it's just a big bowl of wheat. And
Absolutely.
going on it for you. And then you go, oh, what else am I going to eat?
I can tell you, I crave salt.
Yeah.
And to offset that, I eat bananas. So when I eat a lot of bananas, I stop craving salt.
Interesting. That's a good
So
one.
you know, there's potassium and magnesium. You know. So I just know that that's my body. But if you're someone, and so if I don't eat enough bananas, I'll go home and eat crisps.
Interesting.
And so that's just been my experience in terms of this journey, you know, and what's, you know, the work that I've done with Dave's wife Lisa and chatting and that sort of stuff, plus talking to Dave, that, you know, that for me has changed. And that's, you know, I'm 42. It's only just happened in the last 12 months where I've acknowledged I have this craving. I have the craving, did the research, I've got a deficiency. So my body's trying to pick up salt, but it's magnesium and potassium, not sodium. And so sodium's not great for us, magnesium and potassium. So there is...
It's in the vehicle of a bag of crisps.
Exactly right. That's exactly right. And so, you know, I'll be stressed. I'll be like, you know, charging home from work. I'll walk in the door. I'll go straight past the dinner that's sitting on the table for the crisps.
That's actually a really interesting one. Like for anyone out there, so this is the classic situation that people compounds over time is, you've worked a long day and it's been a long time in that afternoon stretch where you may not have eaten because you're just like on adrenaline. You're going, you're meeting, report, people at me, focus. And all you're doing is you're actually just pushing your body so hard. Adrenaline is just pushing you through. And then you get in the car or public transport, everything, you get home and you just start hoovering literally, because your body is like, right, I need to eat. And 9 times out of 10, if you've got kids, you're eating whatever they're eating and whatever that is, it might be okay, but
I'll steal
you'll
my
grab
son's food.
Yeah, and it's like, okay, I know there's a packet of chips in that cupboard. I'm going for those, bang, and maybe I'll just knock a beer off too.
Absolutely.
And but to avert that, that's the importance of like food timing throughout the day. You know, having something healthy in the afternoon that like stops that. I'm going to come home like a locust. Let alone like what you just talked about, which is you picked out a deficiency, which is really interesting.
Or, you know, you might sit and you might get, you know, you're office based, you're sedentary, and you get to the middle of the afternoon, I need chocolate. If that sounds familiar, you get to the middle of the afternoon, I need chocolate, you needed an apple or a piece of fruit 2 hours before that. So it's those healthy, you know, it's if you know you have that 3 o'clock craving, what can you do at 1 o'clock or 2 o'clock? That's right. So it's that sort of stuff. So that's the sort of stuff that you're going to unpack when you reach out to David. So this has been Talking Business. What we are asking you to do is tag a mate, tag a friend, tag a colleague, diplomatically, be nice, that you think could benefit from watching David, interacting and or connecting with David anywhere in the world. So Facebook, globally, find him. So hopefully you're going to get some hits here, and you will. So reach out, connect, and then he's going to set you up and start talking to you about how he can support your journey. And if you want that little box of stuff that's in the bottom drawer in my office, then and you're going to copy what I'm doing because you're a busy person, then Lisa or Dave can help you with that too. And they can tell you what I've done. Like ask them what I've done, and they can definitely help you. So that's been Talking Business right here on Best Practice TV. It's been absolutely fantastic.
Awesome.
Thanks, mate. Thanks for coming in.
So good to see you,
It's always good, eh? Fantastic. So we're going to keep talking. You guys are going to keep watching. We'll see you next time right here on Best Practice TV. Bye for now.
See ya.